In the previous session, we saw how data will work. Now we'll see how conditional rendering will work. Conditional rendering is render this. Initially, you should understand what is conditional rendering. So, conditional rendering is nothing but based on some condition. If you want to show and hide some portion, that is said as conditional rendering. Or in a basic programming language, it is having if else conditions, right? Like that, like if you want to perform same kind of logic in LWC, it will take about conditional rendering. Okay, so I'll explain you two different examples for this conditional rendering. So prior to that, I'll show you. Okay, yeah, we'll implement it, right, so that you'll understand correctly. Okay, now I'm navigating to this UI. Now what we'll do is I'm going to create a new component. Please, input file, new lighting web component. I'm giving them like conditional rendering. Okay. So this is the name which I am giving to the component, and I'm making it as is exposed equals to true. So that by default in meta file it comes, and I'm selecting same target. I'm deploying this component so that new component will be created. And in a previous session, like whatever the lighting card we used, I'll take same card. Means like I'll take a same lighting card. With the lighting card and copy and pasting in our code. Okay. So in these, like I'm removing this in between code. Just I'm taking the empty one and that's here I'll pass the parameters. We'll see how to pass this parameters and everything. Now we are checking conditional rendering part. Okay. So prior to that, like I'm going to define one Boolean variable. Okay. So I'm going to, sorry, I'll close this getter now. Now I'll go to this conditional rendering folder. In this, I'll go to JavaScript. In the JavaScript, what I'll do is in the conditional rendering, I'll create one variable. Okay. So here I'm going to create one variable. Is visible. It is a Boolean variable. And by default, I'll make this variable value as false. Okay. By default, I'm making this variable name as false. After this, what I'll do is like I want to change this value whenever button click event happens. Okay. So to make you understand that, like I'll show you that UI which I am going to implement now. Let's suppose I'm going to this part. I'll go to LWC app. LWC app. In this, like you can see toggle message button. So here you can see toggle message button. So whenever, so here previously you can see click the button to see the message. Okay, you can see this message. Once you click on this button, this message will get changed. Welcome to LWC conditional rendering. So this is coming in an output. Like this, if you want to change the message, see once again if you click on this button, this message is changing. Like this, how many times you click on this button, this message will get changed. Okay, it means it is a button click event. So for that, I'm going to create lightning button. Okay, we'll see what are the different parameters will be there in a lightning button. So for that, I'll come to this HTML file corresponding to this. Okay. So coming to the HTML file, like initially, what we'll do is we'll monitor that changes. So remember, whenever you want to check the conditions in LWC, like initially I'll explain you older way, then I'll explain you updated way, and like how we need to use this conditional rendering in LWC. So coming to the traditional way, we have to take help of template. Like in a template tag, we have to write the condition first. You have to remember this. In this, we have to take help of these directions. If true, and equal to, we have to specify an expression here. So which condition you want to evaluate, you can specify that expression. Similarly, for negative case, also you have to do same thing. Template. Inside the template, we have to take info of if false directly. And which condition, like you are saying that is false. Okay. Under this template tag, whatever the logic you want to implement, you have to write that logic. Okay. We'll do it in a programmatically now so that you'll get a clear picture of it. Okay. So now what I'll do is under this div, okay, what I'll do is I'll define template. Okay. I define this template tag. Okay. Inside this template tag, like we'll close it as well. Yeah. Okay. I'm closing it as well. Now inside this template tag, here we have to specify that condition. Okay. If true. If conditions, which value we are checking? So we are fetching that value from JavaScript. That's why I'm taking this curly bracket. Okay. So here our variable name is visible. That's why I'm saying that. So I'll pass that value. If it is, for example, coming completely, I'll keep it here. You can do it. I'll remove it. Okay. So initially, and whenever this condition is satisfied in the template, whatever the code or whatever the logic you want to display in an output or in a UI, you can write that logic there. Okay. So I want to display the text as somewhat bold. For the purpose, here I'm going to take strong tag. Okay. In the strong tag, what I'll do is I'll write some text. I'm displaying value is visible log marked as true. Like this, I'm keeping some message in it. Okay. So now I'm going to close this point tag. Okay. So this is what I want to display here. Okay. This is about if true case. Similarly, if for false case also, we have to do same thing. Okay. So I told you, right? Coming to the false also, like so we have to define it in another template. Means I'm defining another template. In this template, I'll close this template as well. I'm going to close it. Here again, instead of if true, we have to take about if false. If false equals to which expression you want to check, which variable value you have to check exactly, you have to specify that is visible. I'm saying same variable. When this condition is false, we have to execute this block of code. So this is also I'm specifying strong. Okay. Is visible. Below the to make it true. Like this, I'm giving some text. Okay. Now I'll close this part as well. So from this, like till this, everything is well and good. Okay. Now what we are doing, we are saying if true, it means if this is visible value equals to true, then we are going to display this message as an output. The next, if it is false, means if is visible variable value is false, then I am going to display this message. So now what we have to do in this page itself, we have to get a button. So whenever we click on that button, one event should fire or that event should update this variable value. So for that purpose, we have to create lightning button. As I told you previously, you need not to buy out all the components and everything. To take help of any component, you have to go to component library. Okay. After going to the Salesforce component library, Lightning component library, we can select whatever you want. So in this, I'm going to create a button. That's why to open to different page. Yeah. So here, I'm going to search button. So you can see Lightning button in the Lightning web component. So you can see I'm selecting this button. In this, you can see lot of examples. So basic button, like different types of buttons you can see. Whatever you want, you can select that one. It's showing to you, like which kind of button you want, you can take that button. Base button, neutral button, brand outline, destructive text, success. Like that, whatever you want, you can take that one. Okay. So now I am going to take this brand button. The brand, you can see all the things here mentioned clearly. The brand variant, I'm taking this. Okay, simple. I'm copy pasting this line and I'll keep it in our lightning pod. So here we'll be having lightning pod. Okay, in this lightning pod, inside our like at the bottom of our like styling and everything, I'll keep it. Okay, or else the div tag itself I'll keep. Okay, we'll keep at the bottom of this div only. I don't want to apply same styling to this one. Okay, so I'm not changing all these parameters. You can see if you consider button, you can see variant. So variant I have selected as brand, label brand, title, primary action, on click. So whenever we click on button, we are going to call handle click method, which will be present in JavaScript. Okay. So now we are going to create this handle click method in the JavaScript. So I'm copying this one. I'm going to JavaScript. In JavaScript, I'll create that handle click. Okay. So as it is a button. So whenever we click on this button, we have to update the value of is visible. This dot is visible equals to whenever we click on this button, it should become true. Or else, like I can't say true. Like if we say true, what happens is I'll show you that behavior as well. Okay. So initially I'm making it as true. And now I'm saving this. Okay. And now what we have to do is we have to, yeah, we are changing this variable value. Once we click on this button, this will be. So here what's happening is by default, this is visible variable value is false. Whenever we click on that button, so this variable value we are changing like true. And if we understand this HTML part, here we are taking if template equals to true, means by default, like this is visible equals to false. It means it won't enter into this template, it won't execute this block. And if you compare this condition, by default is visible equals to false, it means by default this portion will be comes in an output. First thing you have to remember. So whenever you click on this button, so on click, this event is calling. Whenever you click on this button, handle click event will call. In a handle click method, what we did, we made this variable as true. So whenever this is visible becomes true, again it will come to HTML. In the HTML, it will check this condition. This will be true. Whenever this condition true, this output will become, and at the time is visible, this condition fails. It means it won't come in an output. Okay, that will happen here. Now I'm saving this one. I'll change this title. Title like conditional rendering. It's very easy, but don't look at the code and think like it's a bigger code. It's very easy and straightforward code only. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll go to our app and edit this page. saving this one. So by default, you can see conditional rendering as a title, and here you can see the message. Hey, is visible is false. Please click button to make it true. So I'm clicking on this. So whenever I click on this message got changed. Hey, hi, I am displaying content when is visible flag marked as true. Again, if you click on this button, nothing will happen. Why means if you observe your code, in the code, what we did is whenever this click event happened, just to be made the value to true. But what I want to do is, if you click on this button first time, it will become true. Again, if you click on this, it will become false. Again, if you click on this, it will become true. Means it should switch the value every time whenever we click. So to achieve that, what we have to do is, here we have to take, like we have to reverse the value. To reverse the value, what we have to do is, we to do this thing. This dot is visible equals to not of this dot is visible. Means we have to reverse this value. We have to reverse this value. So that here what happens is, like whenever, let's suppose if you click on this button first time, so if this value is true, now it will become opposite to that, means it will become false. So again, if you click on that button, so initially it is false and we are making it opposite value, means it will become true. Means every time this value will switch whenever we click on this button. That will happen. Now I'm going to refresh this page. Okay, I'm clicking on this button now. So this got changed. Again, if you click on that, the previous message is coming. Okay, it means it is working as expected. Means it is toggling whenever we are clicking on this button. Okay, how many times you click, that many times this message will get changed. This is about basic example. And remember guys, like coming to the LWC, here we saw the basic example with if true and if false directive. Okay, so now whereas coming to the LWC, soon they will be going to deprecated. If true, like, not now, in the future, this if true and if false directives will be deprecated. Salesforce will become came up with a new like conditional rendering concept like tags LWC. If previously we are using template, in a template we are specifying if true like that, right? Now if we want to specify any condition, we have to take help of LWC if LWC else if and LWC else. Like that, they came up with a new concept, like they modified the logic, we can say simply. Okay, so this is the best way to achieve this kind of requirement, like not this kind of requirements. So by considering performance and everything, we have to keep in mind that like we have to use an advanced approach. So by taking help of this approach, I'll implement same logic. Okay, how it will behave and everything. So for that, I'll take same part, the same section or same component. I'll take same lightning code at the bottom of this thing. Now, what I'll do is instead of like in a template, instead of like if true directive, I'll take help of LWC if. So here, what I'll do is I'll say LWC colon if. So I'm taking this directive. So now same thing, like whatever we did previously, it will check this variable value. Okay. So coming to the if false, again, we need not to specify any condition. Coming to the LWC, like directives, again, we need not to pass this value. Simply we can say LWC else. It means it will understand like if above condition fails, by default, I have to execute this block of code. Okay. Again, we need not to specify same code. Now I'm saving this one. Okay, it got saved successfully. I'll refresh this page. Same section will appear 2 times now. You can see it is appearing 2 times. One is like a first section is corresponding to the if true and if false directive, and second portion is coming because of LWC if and else. So we'll check this one whether it will work properly or not. So by default, this message is coming. It means the behavior is same in the both the cases. If you click on that, this message gets changed and top message also got changed. Why means so for both the buttons, we are calling same function. That's why in both the places it is changing. Okay, this is about the thing. So remember, whenever you want to use a conditional rendering, better to use this block of code. Okay, ignore the first part. So that's about the basics of this conditional rendering. And now what I'll do is I'll create another example. In this example, in the conditional rendering itself, I am going to take getters. Like previously, like in a previous section, we saw getters, right? I'm going to include that getters in this function. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll create another lightning web component to avoid complexity in the component. So user status. Okay. I'm going to create a component with the name user status, and I'll make it available in the same places. Okay. Now, in this case, what I'm going to implement is like I'm going to implement this functionality. Okay. So if you see this example, user status, welcome user, you have basic access. So by default, it is showing this message. So whenever we click on this button, it is showing like welcome manager, you have limited access. Whenever we click on this button again, welcome admin, you have full access. Like this message is toggling. So first it is saying user, you are having basic access. Second time it is saying manager, you have limited access. Then it is saying admin, basic access. Means if you consider this example, it's toggling from these three values. So first user, from user to it is changing the value to manager. From manager to it is changing value to admin. From admin to again it is going back to user only. Like this, it is iterating in a cyclic fashion. So we'll implement this functionality by taking help of getters. Okay. So I'll try to mimic the same behavior in this lightning web component. So for that purpose, like initially what I'll do is I'll take help of same lightning card component, like this one, LWC one. Lightning card, I'll copy paste. And the template itself, I'm going to copy this section. Okay. Tapping. Chalo. So this what this looking good. So there is no issues in this. Okay. We'll change the conditions later. First, we'll define variables and we'll see how to modify the values for this thing, that for this requirement. So initially, like what I'll do is, okay, now user status.js, I'm going to open this one. In this, what I'm going to do is I'll define variable. Okay. So with the name role. And initially for this role, I'll keep a value like user. Okay. So for this variable, initially, I'm going to keep a value like user. Now, what I'll do is like we'll create the same button, like however we created a button previously, like that, we are going to create the same button. And whenever we click on that button, that value should change. Okay. So now button title will change. Okay. Or button label will change. Sorry. Same role. So like this, we are giving this button name. Title, I'm not touching anything. And whenever we click on this, like it should call handle click. So now what I'll do is specify this one. And here conditions also I'll change. LWC if, like here we have to check the variable values. Okay, I'll come back to that one later. Initially, we'll implement this handle click method. Okay. So now if we go to this handle click, like here, I'm going to create this handle click method. Okay. In this handle click method, I'm not going to pause, like I'm not going to take anything. Just it is a button click, right? So whenever we click on this button, so we have to check this condition. If this the role, if it is equals to user, I'm checking whether it is equals to user or not. Okay. I'm going to say this is equals to user or not. If it is equals to user, then what I am going to do is I have to update it to manager. Okay, we have to update it to manager. This dot role equals to, we have to update it to manager. Okay. The next, we have to check another condition as well. That is else if condition. So coming to this, else if. So coming to this else if condition, we have to check whether this manager role is manager or not. Okay. So next time we have to check if this role is manager or not. So here I'm going to keep triple equals to, means it is a strict comparison operator. If it is equals to this role, now what I'm going to do is I'll paste it same thing. I have to update this manager to, I have to update this message to admin. Okay, I'm going to update this value to admin. So these are the conditions. Else, if role is not equal to user, if role is not equal to manager, means the role should be an admin only. Sorry. Yeah, admin only. So for that, I'm not going to keep another condition. Simply I'll write else. For this else, what I'm going to make is I have to make this value as user. This dot role equals to user. So now everything is looking good. But conditionally, we have to fetch this values in an HTML. So previously I told you, if we go to this HTML, here we can't take a values based on conditions. You know that. Here we can't take a values based on conditions, or like we can't evaluate any expression. We can't evaluate any conditions directly. So for that purpose, to evaluate an expression, we need to take help of getters here. So here we have to take help of getters. Now, what I'll do is I have to check before this handle pick method. I'll create like I'll take help of getters. So what I'll do is I'll create functions to check whether this role value is admin or not, and similarly, if this function value is manager or not. Okay. So now in this method, I'm not passing any parameters. Directly, what I'll do is, so if the user role is admin, now what I'm going to return is return this dot role equals to admin. Okay, I'm going to return this one. I'll connect all the dots, don't worry. Similarly, here I'm going to use getter, like that, so that you will understand. Similarly, I'll take help of another get method. Okay, get whether it is valid. In this, what I'm going to do is I'll keep return, like in this, I'm going to return this dot role equals to, I'm going to keep it as manager. Okay. So like this, I'm using, like I'm taking this variable. The major purpose of this getters is in this sense, like we have to compare whether this variable value is admin or not. And I have to check whether this variable value is manager or not. So for that purpose only, I am going to take this is admin and is manager data. Now I'm going to this HTML part. In the LWC if condition, initially what I'll do is we'll check whether it is admin or not. Initially, we'll check the user is admin or not. So for that purpose, what I'll do is here I'm going and I'll take help of this method directly. Is admin. Okay. I'm comparing with the getter variable. If he is an admin, we have to display separate message. So some thing we have full access. Okay. So we have to display this message. Coming to the LWC else, like here I'm going to use one more condition, that is I have to use LWC else if. Okay. Here I'm using LWC else if. This what I'm going to use to multiple times. So the structure itself, it is asking one variable. So here what I'll do is I'll say is managed. This is only the variable name, right? The variable names we have to specify exactly the same. So this is getter name. So it will get this value. Okay. So when this is equals to true, then we have to display some other message. Some manager we have limited access. Like that, this will display. Similarly, we'll take help of another template load for else condition. Okay. So in this, like I'm not going to use this completely. Simply I'll specify else. Else won't take any conditions. It won't need any condition. Directly I'm saying LWC else. So here, if we are in this one means he is not a manager, just he is a user. You have basic access. Obviously. Now I'm saving this code. So simple code. So what we are doing is here I'll explain it first. Now initially we are taking lightning card, and in this we are checking this condition whether the user is admin or not. So to check this condition is admin or not, here we are not taking role into the consideration. Okay. So now for that what we are doing is we are taking help of getter. So for that purpose we created one getter here with the name is admin, and like we are checking this condition. If we are not checking any conditions, return this dot role equals to admin. We are making this role to admin. Okay. That's what we are doing there. Just we are fetching this value. Okay. Similarly, manager case also, we are fetching this role value to, like we are making this role value to manager. Okay. That's what only we are doing in the. So now what I'm going to do is we'll see like after keeping it how it will work, and I'll explain you again. I'm going to deploy this one to this page. You could go saving this one. Got saved. If you see here, by default, it is showing like welcome admin, you have full access. So for admin, by default, the variable value is admin, it is taking. So it's saying some error. User is not defined. It means we did some mistake in a code. Quickly, I'll walk through this code where we made a mistake. Yeah, and then click Okay, and keep it correct only if A is dot role equals to user, then we are making this role to manager role fine. Okay. The next we are taking help of else if condition. In this we are saying role equals to manager, then we are making this role value to admin. Then in else condition, we are saying this dot role equals to user. So this part is correct. Change role. So in a handle kit, there is nothing is good only. And get is manager here also. This method also good. Okay. Return this dot role equals to manager. Here also we're not having anything. Get is admin. This is also good. There is no error in this. Okay. So inputting also we haven't done any mistakes. So that's also good. So now directly I'm jumping into this part, HTML part. In the HTML part, this one is anything is fine. Lightning part we put okay. In this in the template we are checking this condition. Okay, by default this message is on. Okay. The next another template we are taking. We are comparing with is manager. Okay. So yeah, on click press one proper button over there. So, it is looking good. It's good. It's happening while it's coming. Oh, the good. Yes, users profiles, software handle. Okay, we'll see. Like I'll resolve this error and update useful. Thank you.